Boom, baby. We are live. Welcome to Interview with Man, episode 490, where I'm here with my good friend, shares the same name as me, Mr. Jonathan Fitch, also not John Fitch, but
Also,
I don't think
John.
people don't really know your full name's actually Jonathan.
No, they don't. I have, yeah. That's one reason I don't really have a nickname, is because John kind of is a nickname.
Yeah, yeah. My brother and my family call me John.
Yeah, I have.
Rolo's called me fucking MLD John. Now it's like kind of branded on me. But
Yeah. Well, most people call me Fitch. Like,
mm,
yeah, I was always Fitch, or for a large portion of my life, I was Little Al.
Little Al, where's that come
I have,
from?
I have an older brother named Alan,
Oh,
so
I
I
didn't
was
know
Little
that.
Al for a little bit. His friends all called me Little Al.
I did not know. That's funny.
Yeah.
So this morning we're going to talk about fighting your inner demons, with John Fitch, and how like using martial arts can really kind of, I could say, empty the tank of your demons being
Mm.
building up all the chaos
Well,
and
there's a number of ways that it can kind of exercise the demons,
Mhm.
because one of the big things a lot of guys have, and being in this space and being part of like the men network and seeing the group chat and all that stuff is people's egos is one of the biggest things that holds them back from improving,
Mhm.
because they have this false um, ideal of who they are or what life is,
Mhm.
and you cannot maintain that false reality when somebody's mounted you and triangle choking you with their nuts in your face.
Oh,
That your bullshit reality is going to collapse. Okay, me as a lifelong wrestler, putting on the gi the first time and grappling with Dave Camarillo, who is my jiu-jitsu instructor, who I got my black belt from.
mhm.
He was 160 pounds soaking wet when I grappled with him, and he felt like a 300-pound man, and he worked me, and that was after wrestling in college. Okay,
Yeah.
and
At
that
Purdue,
was a
right?
little, yeah, that was a little bit of an ego death. Yeah, I wrestled at Purdue.
All state.
I was never an All-American.
Oh.
I did letter. I was a 4-year letterman. I was a
Mhm.
team captain. Um, but to be handled like that, I was a white belt in jiu-jitsu, and he was able to handle me. And, I had 25 to 30 pounds on him.
Mm.
And I'd been wrestling for a long time. And that really was an ego death of like, okay, I need to shut up and just put the gi on and
Yeah.
listen to what this guy has to say.
I think that I really think, and it's a hard thing to tell guys to do, because let's just be pretty cut and dry with today's situation regarding to men. Majority of men are fucking pussies these days,
Yeah.
and
They're
and th-
they're they're women. They're raised like as women, so they have a woman's mindset of how to handle things and how to react to things.
and I really believe in my heart of hearts that every man should learn to fight. Like
Mhm.
it gives you a part of your manliness, your manhood, that you can't get from reading books, you can't get from lifting
Mhm.
weights. I know a guy that lifts a lot of weights, but he's a massive pussy. And like the thing is, when you are with this, like, you have this aura about you, this confidence about you, it's something that's unspoken that people can pick up on it, and they're just like, ah, yeah, probably don't want to fuck with this guy. You know,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
we're talking about inner game here on today's episode, and obviously the entire month of February. And the reason is because on February 24th, we're doing the Inner Game Healing Summit, and we're going to be talking about all of the ways for you guys to get your self-esteem up to max, to have your inner game dialed in, so you have no hangups, no worries, none of that crap about feeling, am I good enough, am I not good enough, really just handling this stuff. Remarkably, on the first day we had 71 signups for this course. I've never had that many people ever in one day, and
Wow.
I've been inconsistent on YouTube since September. Since at the end of September, October I was off, November I was kind of off, came back December for a little bit, then did Hot Dude Con and all that, and then went to Columbia, fixed my teeth. January was kind of spotty as well. um but that's huge, because we're going to get the momentum going back on this channel. I'm going to be working my rear end off all the way until summer. um but this is huge. And on February 24th, we're having a summit. So all the information is on this website. Just go to innergamehealing.com. And really, we have compiled all the information that you have here right in front of you, all the questions you need answered regards to if this is for you or not. I've been getting a lot of private emails. I've been getting a lot of consultation requests. Surprisingly, even women have been booking me lately and asking about inner game stuff because it kind of is, it's on the female side as well. So go to innergamehealing.com, put your email address right here, and then get on the waiting list to get more information. And that's what we're talking about today. John, let me ask you something. Obviously, you're a guy who really has lived an amazing life. It still blows my mind that I'm like honored to like call you my friend in real life, because I used to sit around and watch you all the time. I used to bet on you. I was like, John Fitch, unanimous decision, like free money.
It's a dark horse. I won a lot of people money.
Yeah, I know.
I got no love from the promotion. I got no love from the press.
Well, Dana loves you.
Hey, Francis Nagao might love me now.
Yeah. Did you talk to him?
No, but the fact that, you know, the class action lawsuit that we filed a while ago is the reason why his contract was able to be put in the situation it was for him to become a free agent right now.
He's
his
already
next
free
fight,
agent?
he'll probably make more money than all of his fights in the UFC combined.
Yeah, because he only got 600,000 for the Gon fight.
Yeah, and he could leave, do one boxing fight, and make 10 to 25 million. Yeah, that's because they put in a sunset provision into the contracts, which did not exist.
What is that?
So in 2017, they started putting a 5-year clause into the contracts. So you had either 8 fights or 5 years, and then you were free. Then your contract was over with. So he's at the end of that 5 years from what he signed, and then they have the championship clause. You win the title, you have to fight it 3 times or 1 year until your contract is free. Before, they owned you forever. Once you signed with them, they would be able to keep postponing your contract from canceling out. You know, they would just keep suspending it. Like I think Randy Couture is still under contract. You know, there's a lot of guys still under contract. So they've had to make substantial changes to how they do business because of the class action lawsuit. Because you can keep filing every so many years if they haven't changed their business strategy, and they don't want to keep getting sued. So they keep incrementally changing things to try to avoid a new lawsuit.
For you guys that don't know, John is part of the spearhead of people fighting for basically equal pay and whatnot. You, Nate Quarry, who else?
We're the named plaintiffs. Me, Nate Quarry, Kung Lee, Kyle Kingsbury, Brandon Vera. Ryan Jimo was a part of the class too, but he passed away.
Yeah, I think the Fertitas has something to do with that. No, I'm just joking. I don't know.
No, I was living in Vegas. I became very terrified for a little bit. It turned out to be like a drunken exchange, and some guys hit him with a car in the parking lot. But like I was like looking over my shoulder for.
As soon as I heard that news, I was like, I don't know, it seems a little sketch.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, that's really.
I don't know.
I was like, they're really playing hardball.
Dana's a thug, man. I'm not gonna fuck with Dana. I would not fuck with Dana. But you know, I think what you're doing is gonna. I mean, you already have made changes by doing it.
Yeah. No, I mean, and this, you know, you're talking about bring it back to inner game. Like I'm doing way better because that was my real first like kicking the balls and like my first broken heart really. Like was realizing that MMA wasn't really a sport, it was a production, and that these guys were exploiting people, stealing from people, and you know, me raising my voice and stuff, kind of getting kicked out of kind of blackballed in the industry a little bit. You know, that was a hard thing for me to go over because that was something I loved. That's what I really loved. And then the sport was really ugly for me for a while, and I didn't want to be very involved with it. And things have changed now. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Guys having a little bit more freedom with the sunset clause. With 5 years, it's nice. It would be better if it was 3 years. It would be amazing if it was like 1 year, if every contract was a 1-year contract, because that would put the pressure on the promotions to actually treat their fighters well. There'd be actual competition between promoters then.
Right.
And, you know, if we could get to the point where we have a independent belt that isn't controlled by the promotions. So fighters from different promotions could fight each other. If we had a true ranking system, true open competition, because it's sport.
Decentralized fighting.
Pretty much, yeah.
DFC, Decentralized Fighting
Well, I
Championship.
mean, fighters are free agents, and we should be allowed to operate as free agents, not
Mm,
employees. They treat
mm,
us like employees, but we have none of the benefits of being employees, and we
right.
don't want to be employees. We're better off as being independent contractors.
He's trying to make it like the NFL, the uniforms, the Reebok deal, all that
Yeah, but
jazz.
that's the trick. That's the trick because they're not. It's not a league. You have to have multiple owners to be a
Right.
league. The NFL has multiple owners and those owners sign the contracts with the players, and then they
Right.
have a sanctioning body, which is the NFL. The NFL doesn't sign contracts; it doesn't pay the people, but they control the title and they control rankings. They control who plays who in the finals, and they control like implementation of laws and rules about the sport. So we don't have that. We have like they do everything. It'd be like the Dallas Cowboys like own the NFL trophy. They got to decide who uh, played in the finals. They could change who played in the finals just because this team was more popular.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what it would look like if the UFC model was put to football.
Well, let's pull it back to inner game here because I want to talk about you. Obviously I've met you in real life. John's a huge fan of margaritas. Um, and we had a good time in San Diego. We both caught COVID,
Yep.
probably for somebody at the same time being
Yeah.
part of the event. It was fun. Um, you don't really have like you're not like a game guy. You don't like need game. From when I met you, I just felt like you just have like a very solid core presence about you.
Mhm.
Like just something like a strong rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
I'm pretty consistent with how I am all the time. Like
hmm.
what you see is kind of what you get.
I find it to be like a very rock solid confidence about you, but a quiet, silent but deadly kind of guy. Um, what do you think inner game does to a guy when it's dialed in versus when it's not dialed in? How important would you
Yeah.
would you think it is? Like, are you because you have two sons? Are you like in like investing in them and teaching them about inner
Yeah.
game and
I
self
spent a
esteem and
lot
all
of
that?
times with my kids. Like I sacrifice a lot of other stuff because I have my kids. Like I haven't been able to make a lot of your webinar type stuff because like I have kids those days and the times just don't work for me. They have
Yeah,
jujitsu at the around the time. A lot of those times are. Today was good because Thursday I don't have them. But a lot of days Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a lot of those mornings I'm gonna have them. So like
right.
I'm not really free. Um,
So your
but like
thoughts on
that's
inner game in general for like the guys, and then what do you like? Are you are
yeah.
you are you
So
implementing
yeah,
it in your
inner
kids?
game is everything because if you're focusing all your attention on some outward success or you're working on something outwardly, but you don't have that inside shit handled, you're gonna self-destruct. Somewhere along the line, you're gonna self-destruct. Like
It's
making a
inevitable,
bunch
right?
of it's inevitable. Making a bunch of money and not having your mental point of origin in check, not having your traumas and your emotions in check, you're going to self-destruct. You're going to end up um, losing a big portion of all the stuff that you worked for.
Mhm. And
Right?
it eats away at everything, right? Like your health, your relationships, your money,
Yeah.
everything,
Well,
right?
what happens is you'll have a blowout, kind of like a flat tire on the highway going 120. Whether it's business or relationships or whatever, you'll have a blowout somewhere, and then it'll just be a spiral effect until you hit rock bottom.
Mhm.
If you don't handle those things. And that can come from a lot of ways, a lot of reasons. You could have overinflated
Mhm.
ego, overinflated self-worth. You know, your life is kind of not that great, but you think you're awesome because your mom patted you on the head and told you you're awesome all the time. Maybe um, you don't have your emotions in check and you act out. That's a big one for me, I think, for a lot of guys because they get their feelings hurt and they act out and they throw something, they hit somebody, they hit their girl. um it's just downhill from that point. you know uh You could, even not being able to control your temper is one of the biggest things. Because in the industry I am, where guys fight a lot,
Yeah.
those guys who are young, those guys who are amateur, those guys who are just getting started and think they're tough guys, they don't have their inner stuff figured out, and then they start training, and um, they get a little bit tougher, and then they're going out at the bar. Somebody says something. They're out at the at the gym lifting weights. Somebody gets on their equipment, and then they hit somebody. They break their hand. They get in trouble. Now they've got legal fees and all this other shit to deal with.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Cody Garbrandt strikes me as one of those guys. How he kind of loses his cool in the ring and he gets slept, and it's like just not good. He's got a really toxic wife in his life. That's a whole other situation. But like even when when your inner game is fucked up and you have like broken belief system and traumas and shit, you even like you could be in a great relationship with a great girl or a great guy or whatever, and you will feel uncomfortable in that relationship and you will fuck it up. You will self-sabotage the relationship because internally you feel like a piece of shit. You feel like you're not good enough, you're a loser. And even when you're in a good situation, you'll fuck it up. I know people that have like, I've coached a guy and he got his crypto portfolio up to $20,000 in the summer, but internally he feels like he's a loser and he's a piece of shit and he's not good enough. And he sabotaged the portfolio. He got it back up in fall to 20,000 again, and he re-sabotaged it again. And if your internal world doesn't believe in your success and believe in you, your outside world, no matter how much you put effort wise in the outside world, you're gonna fuck it up because your inner world is what's gonna control your life.
It's like having like a spy or a mole living inside your brain, and it's there to like cut cables and fuck shit up when you're not paying attention.
A little gremlin, right?
Yeah.
So we obviously talking about inner game a lot here. And you mentioned you were the first guest that said like, hey, I really want to talk about how fighting helps you calm and conquer your inner demons, right? I don't think it's the end all be all, but I do think it's a great way
No,
to mitigate it.
it's a great tool to kind of get you adjusted to certain things, because like I said before, a big thing that holds people back is their ego or their false sense of what reality is. So you go into the gym, there's no faking it. You're going to be forced into bad positions. You're going to have to fight your way out of them.
Yeah.
I highly recommend jiu-jitsu to people because it's one of those martial arts where you can spar at 100%. You can go all out and not get hurt.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean hurt. I mean, you may get hurt, but you won't get injured. Right. There's a big difference between hurt and injured. You might get some rug burn. You might get something sore, but you're probably not going to get a concussion. You're probably not going to go out cold. Because you always have that ability to tap. You always have that ability to stop what's happening and get out of it. But being put in those bad positions and being forced to fight out of them is great to, kill your ego a little bit. When you go in there and 130-pound purple belt female smashes you, like you're gonna forget about, how great you are. Are you really that great?
That
this little girl can kill me.
Like, that happened to me. You remember he was in your era. You remember Yoshida? He fought Koscheck. He got he got a little. He had a bad time with him. He put a War Machine to sleep with. Remember that? Remember him?
Yeah.
He used to train me. He trained me over here for about a year, and I'm talking about your connection to your ego death, right? There's this old Japanese guy. He's probably like 52. And I was rusty, and some people just have your fucking card, right? And this guy would just
fights.
Oh, dude, he would always just get me in side control and hold me there, and then he never really tapped me, but he would always just hold me there, and then I would just try to shrimp, try to get out, all that jazz, and I did for a while, but he was just always one step ahead of me. And it was just so infuriating. And then I would be leaving, like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking kick this guy's ass. I'm like, no, you're not, because this guy just kicked your ass on the fucking mats.
Yeah.
And then you have to like go home. You have to go home and I remember walking home frustrated, like, fuck.
Like, what do you do next?
Yeah. And it's just like you got to take the L.
I'm gonna kill that guy. You're like, oh wait, he just beat my ass. Like, what am I gonna do now? Yeah. That's a part of that death is like the other part of that growth, that inner game is having those emotions, having that rage, and knowing there's nothing you can physically do about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Just
Because
having,
you don't win fights, you don't win jujitsu competitions by getting angry and emotional.
yeah.
So it's a forced stoicism.
Mm,
You have to take a step back from that rage,
yeah.
breathe, and like think your way through the position.
Yeah.
It's the only way you're going to get out of it. It's the only way you're going to grow. You can't rage your way to success.
I just think that it's truly a part of manhood that is like, for the
It's
most part,
lost.
is
It's
lost. Is
lost
literally, yeah.
because we don't a lot of we don't do that with our children. A lot of times they don't have to face those physical challenges. They don't have to face that adversity. And then we have zero like uh rituals around becoming men.
Rite of passage.
Yeah, there's no more rites of passage at all.
Not yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no societally enforced one.
Mhm.
But you can put your kids into jiu-jitsu, you can put your kids into a martial art and wrestling, and they'll definitely have to man up.
Yeah. I think that when it comes to combat sports, I think it's really good. I think it's healthy too for guys to
Mhm.
to let this rage out in a healthy way.
Mhm.
When I was I was pretty upset about some shit in November, and I remember I called up my buddy Steve, and Steve is he has a couple pro fights under his belt, and I said, listen, man, I'm gonna pay you for a session. Let's just go work some mitts in the park. And after just letting that out, you just feel so much better as a man. I
Mhm.
like, anger for men is like crying for women, right? Just like, it's like our crying, and we just get out.
You have to direct it in the right direction.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
But I will even say I think the more you train, the less the less angry it becomes. Like you really do start becoming a separate person from your feelings, your emotions.
Mm,
You'll feel them, but they're this thing over here. They're not driving where you're going.
mhm.
Because like I don't have to be angry or whatever to hit the bag. I don't have to be angry to go through those workouts. Like I'd rather be in a good chipper mood or be in my zone. That's really preferably where I'd like to be, is where I'm focused and I'm in that zone and I'm just focused on breath and hitting the activity, hitting the technique, and hitting what I'm doing perfectly every time.
Mm,
You know, um, I think the more you're involved in it and the more you go through it, the less you get angry at things.
right.
Because that's another part of the martial arts thing, is like understanding, the things you can control and the things you cannot,
Mm,
you know, and when you can look at life in that sense, you don't get as angry. You don't get as emotional about it, because it's like, do you get angry that the sky's blue? Like, you just deal with it. The sky's just blue,
yeah.
you know. Um, I wish I had a third arm so it was easier to choke people or something. Like, you have to let go of some of those wishes and dreams or whatever that aren't a part of reality.
Let me ask you this. Um, Title today's show is using combat sports to target and kind of like tame your inner demons. So, what kind of inner demons were you struggling with at the time when you came to this realization you could use martial arts to calm it down?
Well, at the beginning of this year has been very positive for me,
Hmm.
right? Because we met in December,
Yeah,
and
I have that
I was still
effect.
doing good, but I'm still a little not 100% over the divorce and losing
Really,
half a million
still,
dollars in the divorce. Like, it's
I didn't
still
know you
burns.
lost it to her.
The half million, yeah, I lost a half million in the divorce,
She
and
got awarded $500,000.
yes, it was close to 400,000 in cash, and then the rest was assets, and all those assets have increased, so it's more than that now.
Damn.
But like, I don't care right now. Like, I'm not. I
Yeah,
can
she's not
say
in the
it, and
kitchen.
I'm not, because I've come to, like, I don't know. I found some closure in the last month, And
Mhm.
I think some of that is I've been back in the gym and training again.
Mhm.
And I didn't do much training at all the last year.
Mm.
And I think being around the guys, being in situations where, you know, I'm not top dog anymore. I'm old. I'm an old guy, and I'm a lot heavier. I'm about 230 right now. So all the guys
Mm.
I'm working with are light heavyweights and heavyweights. So it's a different world also.
Mm.
Um, so going through that has kind of helped me uh, get past some of that bullshit
Yeah.
and find my little happy place again.
Mm.
Um, you know, like I mentioned before, the changes in the industry of MMA have made me a little bit happier too. But that was like, you know, hard shit I had to go through and push through to help make those changes.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, and then like I've forgiven my ex. Uh, we we're not like I'm not like friends with her, but like we'll speak, you know, and I think that's good for the kids.
Yeah,
We can
definitely.
sit at their football game and we can, you know, at least chat and say hi and that type of stuff. So that's it. It's an improvement, but that's all inner work that I've kind of had to go through, and this year's already turning out to be a lot better. I've booked some seminars. I've linked up with a booking agent who's out there searching for seminars to book for me.
Great.
Um, you know, I'm doing a watch along on this platform called millions.co this Saturday, watching the Israel Adesanya fight.
Who is he
And
fighting?
Whitaker.
Oh, two?
Yep. So it
Mm.
should be pretty good. And
Yeah, definitely.
who else is it? Derek Lewis. I think
Mhm.
Derek Lewis is fighting. There's some good fights in the card.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It'll be good fights this weekend. So I'm gonna, and I think it's like 15 fights on the whole card if you start watching the early prelims.
Hmm.
But so I'll be doing that. Like it's a paid gig, so that's pretty cool.
That's great.
Um, yeah, and yeah, I might be getting involved in a another company that's going to work with amateur fighters. So we'll see how that turns out. Talking to the guy now,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I'm already looking more positively towards this year. And I think a
Great.
lot of it is just letting go of the bullshit, letting go of some of the anger and like the stuff
Mm.
you can't control. You just got to let it go.
Yeah, I'm rooting for you. And I think as long as you just keep on persisting, we talked about everything. I think you're going to be all right. I think you're going to be okay.
And
Um,
I started a new video series called Learn to Fight, and it's the idea of red meat. It's my red meat for fighting, and
uh-huh.
I'm finding fight videos of people fighting in the wild,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm breaking them down of like what the mistakes people made in the fight were, how
You
they
know,
could have
Jen,
avoided things.
Jens Pulver does that on Twitch. Do you watch his
Oh, does
channel?
he?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You remember, Jens Pulver?
Yeah, I know Jens. I've
He
met
does.
Jens
He's.
a
I
number of
think he
times.
has like a purple check mark on Twitch, but he watches like bum fights all the time and does breakdowns.
That's funny. No, yeah. So I got little ones. I'll debut them on Friday on rockfin.com and
Mhm.
then again on Monday on YouTube. But YouTube, they don't like violence or fighting or anything cool. So they
Yeah.
may age restrict it or,
Yeah.
demonetize it.
Yeah. So you mentioned to me that at like basically like kind of the tail end of your UFC run, that's when your wife wanted to fucking initiate the divorce, right?
No, I mean, we got married in 2010. I
Okay.
got released from UFC by 2013, but like that's when things really started getting rough was like 2011. After we got married, I started having issues with UFC when the
Mhm.
money changed. Uh, she was not as happy in the relationship. Like it's my fault. It's my fault. I lost frame. The whole relationship, the whole marriage, everything possibly could have been different if I just would have held frame. If I just would have told her to shut up and this is what you need to do, things would have been better off because
What
she
did you
either would
do
have
though?
happy wife, happy life. I followed that, and that was something she said all the time, and I went with it. and
So
bullshit.
what did you actually do though? Like I want to, because you said just happy
Oh
wife, happy life. What did you actually do? To you
no,
supplicating to
like
her or?
putting in more and more time putting in tons of time with the kids, cleaning the house, cleaning up after the kids. Yeah, I ended up letting her take over the finances because yep, she bullied me into it because I had a late payment on some bill one time, and she was like all crazy because she didn't like my system of doing things.
Oh
Well, it
God.
was my system and it worked. I was doing it for a decade prior to her being around,
Mm.
and I never should have allowed her to input on it.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's one of those things. Like she bullied me into it, and like within 6 months, she was complaining about doing it.
Yeah. No. I don't even want to leave
But
the house.
again, it was my fault, 100% my fault. Like I made the wrong choices in that whole ideal happy wife, happy life. I thought, oh, if I just work harder, if I just do more chores, if I just clean harder, like she'll go back to the way she was when we were dating.
Yeah. No. 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 It doesn't work like that.
Does not work.
No, because once you start letting them lead, they start leading you to the end of the relationship
Yes.
because they don't know if they're
They
coming or
start
going,
leading
mate.
you to hell.
Yeah. No. 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 They don't. They don't know.
Yeah.
Um.
And
So
and
like.
and you're better off holding your ground, leading, keeping your frame, and them leaving.
Mm,
Right? If she would have left then, I would have lost a lot less than if, me placating and giving up who I was. And, like, because like 2016, I won my World Series of Fighting world title.
hmm.
And I was, because she was just at home scrolling on her phone, not doing anything because she was mad about, I don't know what. Um, I had to start taking the kids to the gym with me because if I didn't, they just sat at home and watched TV.
Mm,
And that was just it was just bad. I was like, I'll have my kids just staring at TV all day long. So I would bring them to the gym, and I'd be in the middle of sparring or the middle of rolling or grappling or teaching or whatever, and I would have to stop, change diapers. I'd have to stop, take a kid to the bathroom, clean up after them. um, and it's just I'm doing that, and I'm training for a world title. It
mm,
was it was wild. It was insane. And then I would get home with the kids from the workout, and I'd go take a shower. I'd come out of the shower, and she'd be gone. She'd have
mm.
gone to the store to go shopping for clothes or get her hair or nails done or something.
All financed by you.
Yes.
How did that? How did that feel? Obviously, internally, you probably felt like shit. You probably felt like we had the weight of the world, but you still did it though. You became the champ despite doing that.
Yeah,
It's testimony.
there was a conscious decision I made at some point. I got to go through my journals and see if I can find like the actual day. But there was a day I was just like, "F it, John. You got to do it yourself. It's up to you." And I just took all the weight on my shoulders and did it and got it done.
That's gotta build some character internally. Going back to the original statement though, right? Inner demons and martial arts, right? How did you particularly use martial arts in that time when you were going through hell with, because that was a pretty shitty time for you, right? When you were dealing with that wife.
Mm-hmm.
How did you use martial arts to kind of like zen yourself out? And what would you say to the guys watching?
Well, one of the other great things about doing martial arts and learning how to fight is you find a clan of other men who are doing the same things as you are, similar things, have had similar things happen in their lives.
Mm,
When I was going through the worst of it in my relationship, I was in Vegas, and my coach there, Nick, One Kick Nick, uh, he grew up in Vegas. He was a bouncer and a manager at strip clubs for like 20 years. Like he's been involved in MMA and kickboxing, Muay Thai for his whole life. He's kind of famous in Vegas, and like it was great to have him around and talk with him. And like everything I complained about with her, he had like some crazy 10 times worse story from somebody he dealt with or some other guy he coached, and help put things into perspective and help me stay focused and stay on point. And he said something to me once that was very powerful. he said, we were talking about something, and he said, "You're still the show, man. You're still the show." And he's right. Like you have to look at yourself as that. Like I'm the show. I'm the show. She's not the show.
Yeah.
It's not these other people. It's not what
Yes.
they're doing. It's
Yep.
me. I'm the show. I'm the reason people are here. I'm the reason people are in the seats.
Mm.
And you got to have that mentality with you when you're
Yeah.
doing whatever you're doing, man.
Yeah. The thing is, when girls deal with guys like us, right? It's funny, right? Because they sometimes these girls think that they can just like break up with a guy like us and be like, oh, I'll just go to the back to the boyfriend store and like, oh, just get that fucking perfect guy, no problem, no fights, no
This one looks
drama.
pretty good, but you know,
Yeah.
I need to make a few changes, so I'll just go to
He's
the
gonna make
store
me
and
feel,
get the
yeah,
one with a little bit different
he's gonna
whatever.
make me feel the same way. He's not gonna, I'm gonna be
It's
attracted
gonna
to him.
fuck
The
the same
sex is gonna
way.
be great.
Yeah.
You know, there's gonna be no problem in the world. I just gotta go to the boyfriend store and get that perfect guy. I've found him
Mhm.
every other time in my life. I may be single now again. Maybe a pattern. No, it's not me. It's I just gotta go to the boyfriend store. It's hilarious, right? But at the end of the day, you're still the fucking man. Like if a girl leaves me, like, oh, boohoo, like I'm still the fucking man. And like the thing
There'll,
about us, right?
there'll be another one.
We can
If you have
awaken.
gotten a great girl, this is I said this is somebody a few days ago, like you know, worried about missing out on, you know, oh man, I had a good one, but she got away. I'm like, well, you had a good one, so you know you can get good ones. Don't worry about it. There'll be another good one.
Yeah. I just think it's so funny, right? Because the thing is with guys like us, right, we can bring the best out of a woman. We can bring the femininity out of her. We can really make her feel like a woman, make her feel safe, make her feel secure, right? But
Hmm.
she can't go to some dude that's a fucking pussy and be like, all right, time to man up. Like, time to race that manhoodness out of you. You know, they can't do that. We can
Hmm.
do that. And that's the great thing about, you know, being a teacher in this space is we get to teach guys about that. And you know, you're still the man. You are the show, and you are. And then what is she doing? Right? Her greatest claim to fame is fucking sucking your dick. I mean, and getting some money in the divorce, right?
Hmm.
So I mean, it's crass, but it is what it is. Because I don't like chicks who like destroy families and divorce and shit. I don't like girls like that at all. It's disgusting. Um,
I mean, it's just, it's you have to pity them honestly because it is they self destruct.
mhm.
I don't know what they're and it really comes from like the people on the outside telling them, "Oh my God, I can't believe that that's what's going on. You should have this and you should have that." And those girls telling them that they don't have that in their life.
Say it again, John.
They
Can you
don't have it in their own life.
the girls giving them the girls giving
Yes,
them the advice are fucking more
they're a
broken.
mess. They're a
They're more
mess.
broken than the girl. They're like,
Yes.
you deserve the best, girl.
I
Don't
never
pay
put up
attention.
with that. Oh my
Don't pay.
God,
Yeah.
you have sex 3 times a week? Oh, that's so much. I can't believe you have to do that.
It's so funny. It's
And it's
so
like
funny.
that was a real thing. That was a real thing. She's like, I was talking to my friends and they can't believe we have sex more than 3 times a week.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's
just
because
like, your friends are horrible people. Like
yeah.
they don't like their spouses. They don't like their boyfriends. Like you enjoy every time we have sex. Like, why are you letting them talk you out of like what you enjoy?
Why
It's
are you
not
letting
like
him
I'm
talk
like,
you out of
lay
happiness?
down, do what I say. Like I initiate and she enjoys it. Like she gets off every time. So like why I'm like, like, do you not enjoy it? She's like, oh yeah, I like it. Like, what are you complaining about?
Oh my god, it's hilarious because this shit's like American girls are just the most toxic bitches on the planet, bro. They're so
Because
toxic.
they see a girl who has something good and they're like, I don't like that she has something good, so they'll shit on it. I
Yep.
can't believe you're doing that. I can't believe you let him do those things. It's like,
Misery loves company, mate. Misery loves company.
yeah.
Um, I think one thing, obviously, you know, we're part of like, I hate to even say this, like we're part of the manosphere or the whatever fuckosphere, right? I'm part of
It
the
was.
hot dudosphere,
I
right?
mean, I just think it's we use red pill praxology to improve our lives.
Right. And I think one thing that's really overlooked, right, is that guys are, you know, they're really looking at the situation at hand. Um, and they're just thinking very surface level. They don't think about like self-esteem, feeling good, managing your emotions, and the dark shit. Like, you weren't in the best of times during that. You were probably emotionally, you felt sad, you probably felt depressed at times, right?
Dude, I was suicidal.
I mean, there you go, right?
I was like there was a point in time and too, like I was going through that rough stuff. I had such a heavy burden on my shoulders, and then my dad started having heart troubles. That was just like that was awful. That was awful. Like
Not good.
there was a day I went into the bathroom in between rounds and I had to cry during the break round
Yeah.
just because it was just emotionally so overwhelming everything
Yeah.
that I was doing, and I didn't really have anybody to turn to or whatever. I just had
Yeah.
to fucking cut through it and deal with it myself.
Yeah.
Had a little cry in the toilet and then came
Happens,
back
man.
out and finished my workout.
Happens. Shout out to Billy Huang, just donated $20 direct with the PayPal link. And then Competent Man, $5 super chat says, wait, you mean my taking advice from someone like Emma Thorne or Amy Horton might not be the best thing for you to do, but great for them? Dude, like I said, bro, these girls pretend they have their shit together. They pretend that they're happy. These girls go home and cry themselves to sleep at night. These girls go home and drink themselves to sleep,
Or
right?
they're on so many SSRIs and other pills. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like
And
I have this like the Monday through whatever Sunday like pill thing for
yep,
supplements. They have that with all the like their Prozac, their Xanax, their fucking
bro,
whatever the hell else they're taking.
bro, you have no idea, mate.
And they go out and they drink 4 nights a week.
Yep, they drink themselves to sleep at home. They drink themselves like it's truly it's sad, but at the same time, like I'm just trying to let guys know that like don't think these chicks like because they're really good. These girls like they're really good at lying to the world and pretending like they have their shit
Lie to
together.
themselves.
Yeah, they act like they have their shit together. They think that they're the boss. Like I'm a boss, bitch, girl. Whatever the fuck that means. Getting pumped and dumped for your entire 20s as being a boss, bitch. Congratulations, you're a loser. But
Who's the
the
man? Who's that? Oh, the famous chick that used to be hot. Now she's like a blimp.
Ryan Stone.
She's she's one of those ones that she got pumped and dumped a bunch and no longer could get the alphas, and she just said F it, and now she's singing to Ghost and way overweight.
I don't know who that is.
Lovato, is that it?
Oh, Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
Yeah, she like smoked crack now. I'm gonna read Billy's donation quote. He says, "You guys had me at bum fights, so I officially subscribed to John Fitch. Thanks for this great video. My frame had fractures this week dealing with blue-pilled patrons in my day job. Everything said is a great reminder to focus on mastering oneself." Very well
Mm.
spoken there, Billy. You're a great guy.
Mhm. One tip I can have when you're surrounded by like the blue pill and whatever type people, be curious. Treat it as like what is this? Like, why do these people exist? Why do they feel this way? Like,
Yeah.
use it as an exploratory opportunity rather than, oh, I have to change the way they think, or these people are broken, because that's gonna make you mad. Or if you have kind of a curious, like childlike curiosity about like why, you'll have fun with it, and you'll be able to kind of giggle and laugh about it while you're in the moment.
Let me ask you this: on a scale of 1 to 10, how important would you personally rank having a solid inner game just in life? Not even talking about girls.
10, because it's always going to come out. It's always going to come to the surface. If you don't have your inner stuff sorted, it's always going to come back up to the surface.
It's so true. It'll come out
You
in your
can't you
actions.
can't keep it buried. You can't keep it buried down.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not one of these people like, oh no, share your emotions and be more emotional. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's like you got to figure out what that demon is, and you got to route that thing out of there. You got to kill it.
You have to. And that's the thing when you have these demons inside you, these unresolved traumas, the shit. And if you just like constantly like a lot of people like to stuff it down and like, like just I'll deal with it later, I'll deal with it later. All it does is build up more and more and more and explode at a larger point later in your life. So yeah, it's
I've
so
noticed there's like a lot of friends I've had in the past that were like addicts with stuff. That was their problem. Was they had some kind of inner demon that they refused to deal with, and then they shifted the focus onto like, oh, well, I'm an alcoholic, and then they focus their attention on being alcoholic, and that's the reason why whatever's happening, and they still don't deal with their inner demon.
Mm-hmm. I know a lot of guys that you know, that are, you know, they don't even realize that they're running away from something, and they're constantly, fucking, they're constantly dealing with fucking some kind of internal issue, but they're covering it with girls or covering it with party, covering it with
Covering it with
work, right? Covering it with drugs, you name it.
fitness, even like being super jacked and
Mm-hmm.
not having any other skills anywhere else.
Yeah. And so looking at everything, it will absolutely come out and wreck you. It'll fucking destroy you. And if you don't get this shit resolved, like, it's inevitable, right? It's
Ticking time bomb.
It is a ticking time bomb. And I think that's what guys, like, they don't need. I think that's another thing too, right? I don't think a lot of these guys realize that how important this shit really is. Because it's unbelievable how this really permeates throughout every part of your life. It'll permeate through your fitness routine, dietary, right? Career, cryptocurrency trading, girls, sex, like, it'll come through everywhere. One thing I've noticed, right? I'll tell you what I did. I'm going to talk about this on an episode later this month, but I'm just going to talk about it now. I'm just going to share it with you. And for the guys watching, guys, please click the like button, by the way, because that's what you have to do in YouTube. So please like it.
Like and share,
please. So in November, I did some deep work, right? In the beginning of November. And I had pulled out some seriously deep fucked up trauma because I didn't realize how fucked up my childhood was. I just,
bad.
Yeah.
I had a great childhood. I can't complain.
I just love how you nonchalantly, like, yeah, it was pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Look, I'm listening. I listen to some people's things, and like, I was shocked. That was a big thing with me as an adult to like learn some compassion about it. It's like, not everybody had a cool childhood like I did.
Yeah, definitely. So there was a time where I just kind of thought my childhood was like kind of bad. And I didn't realize it was like so bad, but we actually went into depth with it with Ryan from intermasculine.com, and he's like, damn, I didn't even know it was that fucked up, right? So we did a lot of work. I was doing sessions with him, I was doing sessions with Paul, and like really like working on myself. And something pretty crazy happened, right? After I did all these sessions, right, my compulsion, I had like this hunger that I thought was like just natural male hunger, but I just had like this fucking compulsion to like consistently go and fuck girls, go and fuck them, and like get them, have a bunch of sex. And I've had sex with like 240 something girls at this point now. So I've had sex with a lot of girls. And that desire went away because I had forced myself to go on some dates to like just kind of like, I was like, what the hell's wrong with me? Why do I feel like this? And I fucked a bunch of girls, but it was like really not satisfying. It like the high I got from it before was not there anymore. And I didn't really need it. And I was like kind of beside myself. I was like, why do I just not have like this crazy impulsive like desire to fuck everything anymore? And I think I was using chicks. I know I was using chicks as like external validation thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once I was able to resolve the trauma from my childhood and like, not being loved by my mom and all that shit, right? It's insane. Like it's like completely, I'm good to go. And I think that a lot of the guys who come to this space, they have a lot of mommy issues or they have a lot of validation issues. And they think that like, oh, I want to fuck a bunch of girls because then I'm going to feel happy. Then I'm going to be like the man. And don't get me wrong. Definitely go have sex. Enjoy yourself as a man. If you're a girl, stop. Don't go fucking have sex. Like go home and bake bread, like, but if you're a guy, go out there and fuck, right? It's cool. It's going to give you experience. But the compulsion to do it, I think, is really by a lot of guys driven from an unhealthy place of insecurity. That's my opinion. And by no means am I gonna be like, like don't go fuck girls, because I know what it's like to get young, horny, and all that shit. Definitely want to learn it so you know what you like, what you don't like, what kind of girls you're into, what kind of girls are like red
You
flags.
haven't dated a lot of girls, you don't know what's out there.
Yeah,
You're gonna get stuck with somebody who's not a good match for you because it's the only girl you're getting to have sex with.
right.
You need experience. You got
Yes.
to test drive.
Yeah. And so that being said, right? I think that that's a thing that like a lot of guys are just kind of overlooking, and but I don't think they even realize they're overlooking it, because at that point, like, because I'm looking at it now, long term, right? 36, pretty successful guy, solved me and Rolo talked on the phone the other day. We call it the mystery of women, or the riddle of women, right? And so we I've kind of maxed out the women thing. I've maxed out the fucking money thing. And I just thought to myself, now I'm 36, right? I've mastered this shit, cleared out this trauma. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, am I supposed to just go through this like endless cycle of like, okay, meet a girl. Okay, now I'm
Groundhog
infatuated.
Day. It's Groundhog Day of dating.
Honeymoon period. Oh, fuck, broke up, heartbreak, recover, lather. And this is what I'm supposed to do. And so I fucking die. I don't want to do that shit. Because I think down, and I see a lot of guys. I see a lot of. I mean, this is why I personally believe this is why like these POAs like Roosh, and really recently Tom Torero killed himself. Like, you have these POAs that are like losing their minds in their 40s, right? Because they're just like realizing like, oh shit, like, yeah, I was able to get sex, but I was on I don't understand women because I can't keep women around. Because if you understand a woman and you're fucking her, dude, she's gonna want to stick around. If you understand women, because you're giving her what she wants. She's not gonna go stray unless she's fucked up in the head, right? Which there are fucked up girls out there.
Yeah.
But these guys don't get it. And I don't think that's what I want to leave behind as my legacy. You know what I mean? I definitely think you should get it out of your system. You should definitely learn game. You should understand women for sure.
Figure
But
out the riddle of the woman for sure.
yes, but this whole endless
But it gets old.
thing.
In the 4 years that I've been, because we separated in 2018 at the beginning
Oh
of
wow, recently.
2018. So it's been 4 years. So I've been actively dating for 4 years, and
Mhm.
yeah, it gets repetitive. Like,
Yeah.
most girls are more similar than they are different, and you will find that when you start dating a lot of them, you'll have the same first date over and over and over again.
Yep.
Same conversations. They say the same stupid shit. Their profiles on their dating apps are almost exactly the same. I love to travel. I like this. I like that. Looking for this in a guy. They're like, you're not unique. You're not you're not an individual. So like, you start really noticing the ones that stick out, the ones that
Yep.
are good.
Yep.
And then like, I have an LTR I've been with almost a year. Be a
Mm-hmm.
year next week.
Mm-hmm.
And things are progressing. And I'm a big proponent on, why are you committing to girls or being with girls long term if you're not going to have babies with them?
Yeah.
I love having kids. I like being a dad. That's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the thing. Like, I think that I don't want to get this message misconstrued, because you and I are both fans of hating the United States government. And the government.
Well, that's because I grew up loving it. I love history. Like, I love reading about history, learning about history. But like, I know, like, the reason we had our Constitution, the reason we fought this, the American Revolution, was to eliminate the oligarchs, eliminate the ruling class.
Yeah.
So that people could be self-governed, and people could be self-governed in small groups, so we could be in our own communities taking care of ourselves. We had a federal government that was just supposed to enforce the Constitution and protect the borders. That was it.
Yeah.
Look over interstate commerce also. But like, that was all they were supposed to do. Now they're up your ass in everything. It's way, way, way too much overreach. It needs to be taken back. But like, I don't see people voting their way to more freedom. It has to collapse before you can rebuild something new.
Yeah. I think I just got another donation, but it didn't give me an alert. My phone buzzed. Let me see. No, it didn't. It just looks like it's just a straight donation. I don't know. I'll have to figure it later. Um, I really think that this is the big thing that's missing. I really can't quantify it into words because this happened so soon to me, but I definitely know that I'm onto something huge with this inner game stuff and our system that we've been creating to like actually cure people of their traumas and release this shit out of themselves forever. I did it to myself, right? I had poverty mindset stuff. Obviously, I'm a successful man now. Game stuff, eating stuff, all kind of self-sabotaging behavior,
Well,
and
you're also taking care of the tribe aspect of uh, of the things of inner game and outer game is having a group of guys to tell you, "Hey, dumb fuck, you're screwing up.
yeah,
Like your mindset's wrong, your
yeah,
attitude's wrong."
yep.
Because otherwise, you just have a bunch of women around you telling you, you're good enough. You'll figure it out. You'll be okay. Everything's fine. You're totally right."
Oh my
It,
god, you have no idea
and
how that happens over here too. That happens in
yeah,
Japan. They tell themselves that same shit, dude. They're all the same. They're all the fucking same. These single broken women giving other women advice who are kind of in
and men
relationships.
advice because men are looking for validation, so they'll ask their girlfriends around them that they
Yeah.
work in the office with, "How come I can't meet anybody? How come this is this? How come blah, blah, blah?"
Know your
You need
worth,
a guy to
girl.
slap you in the face and be like, "Bro, you're being a bitch."
In a video game. Um, I really think, like I said, this is the missing component. And I'm like I said, I'm doing the Inner Game Healing Summit, right? Innergamehealing.com. The waiting list is blowing up. And the reason I'm just diving into this head first is because, like I said, my body language course, fucking $1 million course, dude. It's amazing. My online dating course, pandemic pickup, salt, all this stuff. It's fucking phenomenal, right? Crypto mindset course. Don't even need to say anything about that. I mean, I came up with the marketing plan for that. Everything I do it's tremendously successful, and it's because it gets men results. But I've noticed there are failures within the community. There are people who fail, and all these guys have the same denominator: bad inner game. And I've noticed that it took me 2 years to figure it out, right? But I did figure it out, and now looking at this, it just seems like this is the only ethical thing to do because I think and tell me your opinion on this. This is what I believe, right? I'm gonna be like a fresh and fit girl. I feel like that we as men, we were born to be like these successful, charismatic, just strong, masculine, powerful figures, right? But society and traumas and bad influences and toxic people from our childhood fuck us up, and then we become like this broken vessel
Yeah.
and we
I,
can't get success. But once we're able to heal that, then naturally you're able to
mhm.
get the success you want, and like you just become successful by
Yeah.
the way like God or the
I,
universe or DNA has made it for us to be.
I think on a compounded level too, you have um, uh, a, a, a deliberate effort to demasculinize and traumatize the men. Little boys acting like little boys are demonized in school and put on medications because they're not acting like little girls.
Mm-hmm.
They're not quiet, they're not compliant. They want to roughhouse and talk back and do the things that little boys and men are supposed to do. But it's shamed now. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's toxic. And they're told that their behavior is toxic. And that's a big part of the deprogramming also. That's a big part of that inner game is like, hey guys, you had a lot of people lying to you your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have to wake up and shake off the bullshit they piled on you and be a man.
Yeah. I really do you think you agree with what I said about like we're innately supposed to be these successful creatures and they fuck
Yes.
us up?
If you're not growing and improving, you're dying. You're dying on the inside. What's your purpose? Think about because people have short memories, so they only think about the human experience in the last 40 years, 30 years, 70 years. They're not thinking 100,000 years ago. What
Mm-hmm.
what what did you have to do when we were roaming through the jungles, through the plains, and we were hunting and gathering? Do you think you could sit around and feel sorry for yourself about something? Do you think you could be able to have these behaviors back then? Like that's not how we were programmed. That's not how we were built. Like we were built to travel. We were built to overcome obstacles. We're built to problem solve. Like that's all part of our survival. That's all built into our hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Like regardless of what's happening in modern society, the hardware is still the same.
Yeah. I think that that's what I really believe, because once I started to like fuck mom, that's why I said, like, with me personally, once I removed these traumas and shit that I had and I got my inner games sorted out, like it's like inevitable for me to be successful. It's just like it just comes. I just continue to do what I do. I'm getting out of my own way, really. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a big part of it all, man. Um, yeah, I think really it's just so important that guys really dial in on this, and we're gonna be talking about it more this month here every day on this channel. I got a business trip this weekend, so I'm probably not going to be here till Saturday, but Sunday I'm going to try to be back here for sure. Tomorrow's free consultation Friday. Troy Francis is going to be here Tuesday. We're going to be talking about inner game with everybody, because I really think this is the number one thing we got to be talking about. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share it. Go check out John on his channel, Official John Fitch, right here.
Yeah, check out Official John Fitch. That's the YouTube channel. If you guys are following on Twitter or Instagram, go to the link tree in the bios, and I have a free intro to practical self-defense course. So if you guys have never done any type of martial arts training, I've got 6 situations to help you fight your way out of. Very, very basic, very easy, good way to get you started. Play around with your friends, put yourself in those positions, try it out.
Yep, check them out. It's really important that you guys really. It's an uncomfortable thing to really do and put a lot of time and effort to do. But if you can learn how to fight, handle yourself on the ground and standing up, it's a part of masculinity that you can't get from going to a PUA boot camp or any of that shit. Like it's a part of you that women are like really attracted to as well.
I tell you, dude. I've never seen a girl get more turned on than this one time I had a chick over to the house, and I think it was around Halloween, and I had some stupid like ghost thing or whatever hanging up outside, and I totally forgot about it. So the door was kind of cracked to the back sliding door, and I heard a noise, and I turned, and I saw that out of the corner of my eye, and I got ready to fight. I thought somebody jumped over the garage and was in my backyard. So I was like, I jumped up, like my body positioning was like, it's on, we're going. And I walked to the door, and I saw it was the ghosty thing flying around. I stopped, I turned around, I started laughing. And the girl was so turned on by that, like that natural biological reaction to like, it's fight time. She was like, oh, like, it's like, sealed the deal.
Yeah, I've had that experience a couple of times myself. It's pretty interesting. That being said, guys, thanks so much for watching us. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here. Free consultation Friday. You can call and get all your questions answered by yours truly for free. Till then, make money, make muscles, learn game, hold frame.